Well, welcome everybody back to the Flying Doghouse. This is part 2 from First Flight, Kitty Hawk Kill Devil Hill. We're going to jump in and have a fly in the Beechcraft 17 Sweatwing. Very, very cool aircraft. So we did do a video of this in 2010, but we're going to revisit here in 2024. Check out some of the scenery here. And we'll have a fly from First Flight down to Cape Hatteras and overfly the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse, and then we'll land at Billy Mitchell. So we can go ahead and jump into the sim. That. All right, so we're on the ground here at First Flight. We're next to the aircraft. Got the memorial here in the background. All right, so what would you want to know about the Beech 17? So if you're not familiar with this, manufactured by Beech Aircraft Corporation, which was based out of Wichita, Kansas. The aircraft designer was Ted Wells from Curtiss-Wright. It's a biplane design. It's also a negative swept wing, or negative wing stagger. Easy for me to say. And this is really an executive aircraft, right? Much like what you would have with a private jet in modern times. This was the luxury flight here for the executive. It was built in the 1930s. First flight was November 4, 1932. Lots of luxury appointments on the inside. One of the unique characteristics of this plane is that it did have retractable gear, which was unusual for its time period. Price-wise, between $14,000 and $17,000 in 1932 would have gotten you one of these. And I believe the first year sales was 18 during the Depression. Sales did steadily grow with this particular aircraft, and they had sold more than 400 of these prior to the start of World War II. I guess something else that I would point out about the particular livery that we're staring at is that this is an accurate livery of an aircraft that was restored. It was restored from, I believe, was located in New Zealand and then restored and then flown back to the United States. So this tail number is accurate, as well as its paint scheme. It's quite stunning looking, isn't it? At any rate, what else would you want to know? Also used during the 1930s as an air racer. And I believe that there were 2 female pilots from the United Kingdom that won the 1936 Bendix Trophy in this C-17. Quite cool. For its time period, it also established some altitude records. So very, very impressive aircraft. So the aircraft was also used by the U.S. and British Air Force, Army Air Corps, and Navies during World War II for light utility work, if you will. So special VIP courier services definitely would have utilized this aircraft. And a small amount of freight moving, right? So for courier purposes. Any rate, beautiful plane. Let's jump inside. Well, I guess we could walk around. So this is a feature that's really got a lot of updates to it in 2024 with the ability to be able to, pull off covers and inspect things in the aircraft. This is a 2020 plane that has been brought over, so it doesn't have the same level of functionality. You can crouch down, and this is the C key on the keyboard by default. And Shift C will put us into the plane. There we go. All right, so here we are, sitting in the cockpit. So, likewise with the original video, I would recommend that you create some custom camera views here. We're going to make do using the mouse and the traditional hold the left mouse button and click and drag to move ourselves around the cockpit here. One of the things that I find interesting, and it's a bit of a distraction and immersion breaker if you have the tips turned on, is that you'll see this show hide brace tube, which I think it fundamentally changes what you see with the aircraft. So I don't like it. It's a bit of a visual impediment, if you will, but it's historically accurate, and I think that's kind of what adds to some of the charm here. So getting the aircraft started is pretty straightforward. Let me hide the yoke. Get that out of the way. And we'll get our controls situated here. So I do have hardware mapped for this activity. So prop full forward. Mixture can be about there. Let's try that. Crack the throttle a smidge. Okay, so your fuel shut-off valves are located over here on the door. All right, so we've got that set to main. And let's cut our magnetos on. And we can zoom down here so we can see what we're doing. Get some lights on here. Cut the navigation lights on. People around the plane will know we're in here monkeying around getting ready to do something. All right, so let's cut the master battery switch on. And we can go ahead and cut on the avionics too. A little bit of a cold day here in the Carolinas, so we'll do a little bit of priming here. All right. So I think we've got everything situated for our start. Let's just do a quick review here. Okay. All right, starter button's located here. Let's give it a press. There we go. Got a good engine. So this one can be a bit of a handful on the ground. So managing your prop and the throttle while you're on the ground is a must-do. Jump outside the plane here. Looks good, shaking around from the wind and from the torque of the motor. Quite charming. All right, I think we're pretty much ready to go here. So to that end, just to save some video time here, we are going to pause our recording and we will come back at the end of the runway. So we'll be right back. Okay, we're sitting at the end of runway 21. We are cleared for takeoff, so we're going to go ahead and make our way down to Cape Hatteras Lighthouse. And we're up. Very nice. Okay, we're on our way. We're going to make our way down to Cape Hatteras Lighthouse. It's about a 20 to 25 minute flight in the Beech 17. And keep it jammed to the firewall. I'm going to back off a little bit. And also we'll take a look at a little bit of the scenery here, and then I'm going to pause recording and then start back when we're a little bit closer actually to the lighthouse itself. So hopefully that will add to your viewing pleasure here. All right, at our 11 and 12 o'clock we have Jockey's Ridge State Park, the very, very large dune, sand dune, quite tall as well. And they teach hang gliding lessons at Jockey's Ridge. It's also a great place to fly a kite if you like flying kites. And as you would expect, right across the street, there are some places to be able to buy a nice kite to have a fly. And we're going to have a fly here in the sim. But you can see some of the terrain relief on the dune. And not uncommon again to see folks trying to learn how to hang glide. Okay. All right, this particular area of the Outer Banks, this is Nag's Head, so I won't ruin the story for you. Have a Google search and learn about why this area is called Nag's Head. Anyway, just off our right wingtip here is Manio. And this was actually the first permanent colony established by the British. So again, a little bit of local history there. Those folks actually ended up disappearing, so not sure exactly what happened to those colonists. But there you go. It wouldn't be a flying doghouse video without a little bit of local trivia there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the recording here. And we are going to come back when we are closer to the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse. So we'll be right back in just a minute. And we are back. And through the magic of time travel here, we're almost to the lighthouse. So this is Cape Hatteras. Have a look back here so you can see there is a significant fishing village here. Lots of deep sea fishing taking place. And quite a few fishermen fishing from the beach. So this is a great place for those two kinds of activities, if that is of interest. And there are lots of vacation condos and cottages to rent as well. So all in all, this is a delightful place to be on the east coast of the U.S. as long as there's not a nor'easter winter storm moving up the coast or a hurricane. And this particular part of our coastal area in North Carolina in particular is subject to evacuation. So if you have ever visited here in real life, you'll you would understand just how flat and fragile this stretch of sand actually is. Anyway, we are making our way down toward the lighthouse. So the lighthouse here at Cape Hatteras has actually been moved. It is not in its original location. And as we make our flyover here, I will point out the path that they used to actually move the lighthouse. So there was a structure that was constructed, and they literally walked the lighthouse to its much safer destination. Otherwise, by now it would be in the ocean. There was a definite concerted effort here to preserve this piece of history, and it's just beautiful. All right, we're almost there. Swing out a little bit so you can start to make out the path here. It's like a road, and it literally was, I guess, a road for the lighthouse to follow. Okay. So here's the path that they followed. The lighthouse would have been somewhere in the neighborhood of about here. And now we have a new visitor center. Quite an engineering feat. And we also have the keeper's house down below. But that's an interesting piece of I guess North Carolina history, along with the history that we've learned about around the Beech 17. What a beautiful plane. All right, if you haven't done so, please like and subscribe. Love to have you get notifications of future content. Be a part of this little corner of flight simulation. And we'll continue to do Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 and 2024 content. So while I make my way over to Billy Mitchell and land, I'm going to leave you here. Hopefully everybody is keeping well. Take care. Cheers, y'all.